We found a special at the grocery store recently, a 10-pound bag of chicken quarters for $4.90. So we're stocking up. Check and see what we're going to be doing with this 20 pounds of chicken. Hello, welcome to Andale Homestead. I'm Ann, and I'm so glad that you're here today. Thank you so much for coming. But what this is going to be is a chicken soup base. Here's a couple of the ingredients from the garden. My fresh garlic. I'm so excited. So I'm going to put that in there. And then we have the onion tops. The tops that came off of the onions. We're putting this in here. A measuring thing because I don't measure. Here's half a tablespoon. Let's do another half. Okay, that's onion. Here's some of those garlic tops that I got fresh from the garden. I'm going to sprinkle some of those in there. Plus the actual garlic from the garden. So that's cool. And I have some onions and chives from the garden. These are the thicker ones. I didn't blend these up. I made them thicker on purpose so that we could have some of that. Yep. Oh, I need to grow some more. These are celery flakes from the garden. I cut up the celery. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. Cut up the celery and put it in the dehydrator. And here's some parsley. All of this is from the garden. And this is what you can do as well. Now what we're going to do is boil up all this chicken. And then I'm going to remove the chicken, take it off the bone. We're going to put onions and carrots. We'll taste test and see how it tastes. But what this is going to be is a chicken soup base. You don't add your rice in canning or anything like that. And then we're going to can it all up. So we'll show you how it's done. Let's put the lid on and get her started. The chicken is cooking away. Hoo-hoo-hoo. With all those great spices. Oh my goodness. Now I'm going to add the onions and the garlic that I had left over from that elixir that I made. And I'm going to add a little teeny bit of broth just to clean the jar out, to get all that turmeric and cumin in there that we had from before. It has a little bit of honey in it, but that's not going to change the taste of the broth. There we go. All right. Now, I'll put the lid back on if I can get it without burning myself. Put the lid back on and let that chicken just cook right down. And then we'll remove the chicken and the chicken from the bone, and we'll have the broth that will add a lot more goodies to. And of course, during this process, so that I'll know I got it right, I'm using the USDA home canning book to make sure that everything is safe. You do that too. Getting out a fresh case of jars, and now to wash the jars. As I'm waiting on the chicken, I'm heating the jars. They're all washed and clean, and they're in a 200-degree oven to keep them warm. I think the chicken is done. It's falling off the bone now. So what we're going to do is take all this chicken out of the pot. Oh yes, falling off. And when I get finished with that, I'm just putting it in a glass container. And when I get finished with that, I'll bring you back. Fun part. So I have removed the chicken, and I'm going to turn it down to low while you see that there's a few little teeny pieces left in here, but that's okay. We're going to make this into some glorious chicken soup. So stay with me. All right, we have all the chicken separated from the bone. This is the broth that we still have hot. I still have this hot because when I put it in the jars, which we have everything set up to put our jars out here from the oven, and I have my recipe book ready. There's the kosher salt. I'll show you how we do this. When you get ready to cut up your celery for your soup, be sure you cut the bottom about right here, and then we save this part, put it in a cup of water, and put it out in the garden, and you're growing more celery. All right, I'm getting ready to take some jars out of the oven. I'm only going to do 3 at a time. 1, 2, 3, and that way you'll get a good sample of what we're doing, but you won't have to sit here with me while I do the whole thing. Okay, so the book, which I have right here behind me that I'm reading all the time, tells me hot packing. You get 1 teaspoon of salt per quart jar if desired. So I've got my teaspoon of kosher salt. Put the salt in there. Now what this is like a chicken soup starter. It will not have the rice or the noodles in here, and the reason for that is you're not supposed to can rice or noodles because of something about the density. It doesn't get hot enough in there. Now, I have cut up some fresh celery. Ooh, jar's hot. I'm going to put a little in each jar. And I cheated, y'all. I bought the carrots already sliced up. And I'm going to put a handful of carrots. Okay, I'm going to need some more carrots. I can tell that. Now here is the chicken. Can you see that chicken? No. There's the chicken. I'm going to put some chicken in there. I like a little soup with my chicken. Okay. No exact measurements on this part. You just have to keep it. The book says 1 1/4 inches away from the top. And I still have broth to go in there. Okay, I'll bring you right back when I get the broth right. I have a little help. He's filling the jars for me with the funnel. We have the broth that's going in. You put it right to the bottom of the funnel, which is about 1 1/4 inches. Hot, steaming broth. Yum. So we have the broth in all 4 jars. The canner is just about ready. It's got hot water in there. We're going to debubble. Can you do that for me, please, babe? Debubble those jars. Push everything down. Get those bubbles out. And then we can put a little more broth in there if we need to. Okay, we're checking the measurements here. It needs just a hair more once it's been debubbled. And then I have my white vinegar here that we will be cleaning all the rims, and I have the rings and the tops in hot water. Now you use your little magnet here to get a lid. Get a lid out. Put it right on the jar. There we go. Okay, we've got the rings on all three of these jars, and on the last jar I put the lid on, and I'm going to put the ring on, but I'm only going to do it fingertip tight. I'm not going to really crank down on it. So that's how you put your lids and your rings on. Now I am getting it only holds 4 quarts at a time, but we're using the electric canner, so I'm going to be canning a lot today. I could get out the big multi-canner, but it's all right. And here we go. Okay, so we have our jars in here. I'm going to close the lid and lock it. It shows you that it's locked over here. On here, I've already started. I'm going to put high heat, and we're going up to 90 minutes because it's a quart. 90 minutes, and you push start. And then it will come up to heat. When you start your electric canner, the button up top that is the most important is to make sure that you have this on exhaust. And then when the timer tells you, it'll count down and beep at you. You turn it to airtight right here. But this black lid is already set for my area as far as my sea level and so forth, the pressure that I need. Okay, it just beeped. It says E0. Now all I do is switch this knob to airtight. It will go around and around and around again in just a second, and then it starts its actual timer for the broth, which is 90 minutes. It's all finished. Let's see. First thing is check and see if any noise comes out of the top. It doesn't. Let's open her up. Ooh, lovely. The canner is off, and here are the jars. Still bubbling. Yep. That's my chicken soup starter. Oh, did you hear that bang? Yay! Thank you so much for coming to Andale Homestead. I'm Ann. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye now.